So that certain Aquaman starlet has been busted faking support. That's right, with the mainstream media even calling out just how many of the supporters she has online actually aren't real people. And making this even crazier is their Instagram credibility score for their audience credibility is now 76%, meaning 24% of their audience on Instagram isn't real. The place where you're supposed to panic, by the way, is 25%. And if you think those numbers seem bad, well, look at these numbers that are coming from Twitter. We're talking about 35.6% of the people following this account are fake followers, meaning they're either spam, they're bots, they're propaganda, or they're no longer active on Twitter. Now, you and we're going to talk about all of this and more, and the hilarious thing about all of these fake accounts suddenly being pointed out is the fact that this person here, they pointed the finger at JD and they said, "He's coming after me with a bot army. This guy, he's employing them everywhere. In fact, I want to unmask everybody that's surrounding him just to find out that, yeah, there are a lot of bots involved, but they are the ones employing them." So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And when I saw this headline right here, I couldn't help but laugh. Why? Because it points the finger at fake accounts. It says that nearly 11% of the Twitter followers partaking in this discourse, I've removed the AH versus JD across the top, they are fake. And the majority of those inauthentic accounts, they're supportive of that certain Aquaman starlet. That's right. Now, the way that they decided they would examine this data was to look at 2,300 total accounts. They would look at them as they started talking about the trial and a little bit before, trying to determine what was real and what wasn't. And what they found was the majority of people that were using hashtags that were pro-JD, those accounts were actually real. But the ones that were using hashtags that were pro that certain Aquaman starlet, well, those, they weren't real at all. In fact, the majority of that was propagated by bots. I mean, that sounds crazy, right? Now, what's interesting about those numbers is typically when you see fake followers surrounding something, you're talking about 3% on the low side to around 5% on the high side, meaning that this 11% here, we're talking about 3 to 4 times higher than the percentage that you engage on normal topics of interest. Now, 11% fake followers may not seem like a lot at first until you think about what that's comparable with. It's comparable with elections, not getting into that subject, just saying. That's the kind of fake followers you see trying to talk about either side on election profile and also talking about war. So when you're talking about propaganda on platforms, yeah, that's what you get compared to. In fact, the vice president marketing for the company that ran this analysis had this to say, quote, "It was previously pretty unlikely that we thought we'd be having a conversation about misinformation when it came to a JD topic. Elections, yes. Wars, yes. But actually now, when it comes to celebrity topics, we're finding ourselves, we're looking at topics more and more covering everyday celebrity topics." I mean, that's crazy to say, isn't it? Celebrity topics, they're bringing out that much mis or disinformation. Now, this gets even crazier when you start looking across social media platforms. Take Instagram, for example. That would be the largest account by far for that certain Aquaman starlet, clocking in at 4.3 million followers. Well, you know that there's a problem here because the engagement rate at 2.63% is the lowest rate that you see among active users. That average, it comes in at 2 to 5%. You do not see that from Hollywood, by the way. There's always a much higher engagement rate, but not for that certain Aquaman starlet. That tells you that there's a problem with their audience credibility. Now, when you tune into their audience credibility score, you see that this is at a 76%. That means that they have 20 4% fake followers. Now, the warning bells go off on Instagram at 25%. That's when they tell you this account, it's buying followers. There's a problem here. This person employs PR firms to run their social media. So you tell me, when you see numbers like that, wouldn't they know where to cut that off? And this, like I said, it's running that proverbial razor's edge. Now, if you think that sounds bad, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. These are the Twitter numbers, and whew, man, they really take the prize. Now, I left the @ for this person down at the bottom here, but I redacted it across the top right here and their picture as well. But still, fake follower audit for that certain Aquaman starlet. Out of 196,211 followers, 35.6%, or 69,851 of those followers are fake followers. Now look at how they define them, by the way. This tool defines fake followers as accounts that are unreachable and will not see the account's tweets, either because they're spam, so you have spam or bots, propaganda, etc., or because they're no longer active on Twitter. So the only thing that would designate that doesn't work in there to basically say they're buying or they're adding on accounts is because they're no longer active on Twitter. Yeah. Now when you look at the median here too, the median is 32%. This is where they fall on the scale, all the way up to 49%. So they're well above the median. Accounts with a similar size following to that certain Aquaman starlet have a median of 32% fake followers. So, listen to how they define this. This account has more fake followers than most. So, compared to most other people with the same size account following, yeah, this one, it really takes the prize. Again, when you think about that person, when you think about them doing the PR they've been doing, when you think about the movies they've been attached to, yeah, I mean, that really says something, doesn't it? Now, what makes this especially ironic is that certain Aquaman starlet has claimed in the past that JD, he's running a bot army. In fact, in her $100 million counterclaim, she said he was trying to take down her career. That's right, Your Honor. And the way that he was trying to take her off that Warner Brothers film, referencing the blockbuster hit Aquaman, was that he was controlling an army, either individually or through his representatives and agents in Virginia. All of these accounts specifically for the purpose of targeting that certain Aquaman starlet. Meanwhile, you find out that the people engaging across this entire thing, talking about both sides of this, 11% of the people that are doing that are fake, and the overwhelming majority that are utilizing fake accounts, they belong to that certain Aquaman starlet. All of the hashtags that are in favor of them, they ended up being fake. Yeah, that seems fascinating, doesn't it? Anyway, let me know what you think about this, and check out our comic book. Link is in the description. This is our way of combating the industry that allowed this mess to happen in the first place. Walk away, walk towards something, help us send a message, and a loud one. Also, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Ending here. See you soon.